Got some bad news here for Aduro. We're taking a huge beating, and unfortunately for good reason. 20% down just today. Quite crazy. I actually have been buying some shares up today. Although looking at the news, we're going to go over why it's taking this huge beating. Why also this could signal a good sign that growth is coming, and this might be a good opportunity to actually buy the dip that some people are waiting for, because the prices we're at around 10, 11, we're getting a little bit risky, if you will. Although if you're in it for the long term, even at 10, 11, this company is a good deal if you really understand where they're going. But let's dive into the current news and why they really went down a lot. They just had an underwritten public offering. What is that? They gave 1 million shares to Aduro Capital. What does that mean, gave? They didn't buy it from us, because that would mean we would have to sell 1 million shares. So they actually just the government prints money. It's diluted. If you don't understand what that is, the reason I'm explaining is I'm in a group chat with some friends and they didn't really know what this meant. But yeah, they're basically giving away shares, and that's a bad sign because that means less these ads. That means all our shares are worth less automatically by them giving out shares. It's just inflation when the government prints money, right? So that's a bad thing. What else does it mean? It means, well, they don't have buying power, the purchasing power to be able to tell Aduro Capital, which is an investment bank, by the way, to tell them, no, I'm not giving you a discount. You're buying at market rate, just everyone else. Just because you're buying 1 million shares doesn't mean that I'm giving you a discount. And not only that, they're getting diluted. It's for them, it's a win-win because they're getting the discounted version. We're all getting diluted, so their 1 million shares are already worth more. Because if they just bought 1 million shares from the existing million, it doesn't matter. I believe it's a win-win for them getting it diluted. But yeah, either way, they would have to do that because unless Aduro themselves is going to sell them 1 million shares, which I don't know how many shares Aduro themselves have. Obviously, they have more than that. I think 60 or 70% is the company, and maybe the rest is the stocks. I'm not exactly too sure, but they have enough actually to give themselves. But the company's pretty early on, and this is quite early to probably. I don't like that they're diluting, but here's why it's a good signal. We have an investment bank that's interested in Aduro now, and Citadel Capital, which only put just very little amount. How much is it? Not even 0.1% in Aduro. They're not even dipping their toes, barely their fingernails. This is one of the biggest hedge funds in the world. These are just two in the last 2 days. Big companies that are looking at Aduro and actually put in a little bit of money. Where are we going with this? Well, only more and more investment banking and hedge funds or private equity are going to start buying and realizing that, wow, there is some innovative, revolutionary technology. And I really got to make a separate video on that, on why Aduro is so different than all the other companies who are in space. But for now, I just wanted to make a little news update why the stock is going down, and it is justified due to this dilution. It's actually very common. Every time this happens, the stock goes down. But it is good news because actually I didn't really take a look. Who is this investment bank? What do they do? They emerging growth companies. What other companies have they invested in? Number one U.S. IPO issuing. Okay. I mean, they obviously growth proof. They manage multiple $billion. So, whatever they bought in Aduro, 1 million shares. Let's say if it was around $8, maybe $8 million. So not too much compared to all these other recent transactions they have going on here. I wonder if Aduro shows up here. No. Well, it should maybe soon. Oh, actually, that's right. Tomorrow. tomorrow is when the shares get. Oh, actually, that's why it's selling off. I believe the news is that tomorrow they're buying 1 million shares and and we're all getting diluted. So people are selling off before that happens. Because once we get diluted, it's kind of automatically going to get down even more. I believe so. Let's double check here. It says, that's right, offering is expected to close on June 11th. And that's probably why we don't see it on their website, because they clearly put every price here. So this is interesting. We might be due for even more of a beating tomorrow. Wow. Well, I'm gonna hang tight and I will buy more shares tomorrow if that's the case. But that does suck that it's going down. But this company is buying. They're not selling. Citadel is buying. They're not selling. I don't see any major news of anyone selling other than probably scared shareholders right now. Let's see. This was 2 hours ago. This is about the same thing though. It's quite funny that it's at 8 million and the price is at $8. But why is this also a good sign? Oh, 8 million. They're buying. Oh, there it is. This is at 844. Interesting. Okay. So if they're buying at 844 and the price is actually under that right now, we're at what? 796. So this could mean we're pretty much gonna hover around this price, and this is quite a good price, probably a pretty good low in my opinion, but I don't know. It could be diluted more, and let's see how tomorrow goes. Either way, let's see. That's good to know. So $8 million. Why is that also a good sign, even though we're getting diluted? That means Aduro is actually able, even though they don't have the good pricing power of getting the market rate, the stock did go up quite a lot. So let's be fair, $8 is kind of a fair price that it's been hovering at for a while. So giving them a price of 844 is a little bit fair, and it means that Aduro is able to raise money, able to keep staying afloat and doing what they're doing and grow the business. So even though there are some downsides, I actually see this as quite positive. And yeah, that's why I loaded up on shares this morning. And I think if it goes down even more tomorrow, oh yeah, gonna load up even more. I don't know how low we can go, honestly. It might go to the sevens because there is some what's it called resistance around 7 probably. But there's actually quite a lot of resistance at $8 mark. And I think we're gonna be hovering around here for a bit. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Let's see what other news comes out. I think there's gonna be quite some more new news coming up on just new companies investing in Aduro. And then hopefully soon. We have until September, I believe. They have to get their plant up and running. So that's going to be a big update. If we don't get that up and running in time, then it looks like stock might be due for even more of a correction. But until then, honestly, we might be pulling up a lot more. We have a $50 analyst price target, so that's kind of the bar right now. Although the bar for Duro really is way beyond that. But yeah, there, if you look at the max, we've been really shot up a lot. So it's only fair that they did give them at $8. So the fact that they're able to raise, even though not at the market rate, at $8 million at this rate will be great for at least the coming months and the next plant and what I don't know whatever else they got going. I'm not too sure of the details of how they're spending the money. But yeah, it's a good sign that they're able to raise the money. And these people obviously have tons of money. They're not just gonna throw out $8 million that just to anyone. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's just check out a little bit more about them and what kind of companies they actually to invest in. Well, we can just see here in the recent transactions, but I'm not too familiar with these. Pharmaceuticals, acquisitions company, I'm not too sure. I can't wait to see some news about Aduro on here, though. Hopefully, this comes tomorrow. Let's see. And then they're gonna have an article maybe to read about Aduro. Let's see. We have a whole. Oh, nice. Okay, so there will be this. This is cool. So this will probably show us a reason maybe why they invested, and here the transaction information, which we kind of already know. Oh, well, this actually just a little about the company. So one pager. Okay, it doesn't say why they invested in the company. Well, that would be interesting to know, but let's see how Aduro's document will look tomorrow. Till then, thanks for watching.